Hello, my name is Coach Yama. I have a passion to help you improve, and I specialize in macro analysis. Here's some of my background and stuff that I've done before, and get right into the VOD review. So it's that ball player who feels like they missed out on so many opportunities to win the game. It feels like supports did not do much to help you out. So I feel like Ball is a very nuanced character. Ball is a very, very, very nuanced character. Hey, they have Taylor Swift. Oh no, you have Taylor Swift. Okay, so when playing Ball, it is very important to note. Not gonna lie, Ball's kind of bad on this map, but it's important to note that your healers will not help you. Unless it's a main healer or flex support, same thing, like a Baptiste and Ana, or even maybe a Curie. It's going to be very hard for them to heal you, and you should rely on health packs instead. And because you are so mobile, you can just run around the map and take damage and then reset by getting health packs. So there's a fine line, and there's a little game there trading off where it's like health packs or take up your healers, because you do give your healers ult charge. Their Q. But you take up their time. But over here you take up your time. So yeah, it's a little game that you got to balance. And let's get right into the gameplay here. So you're setting up for a slam in main. Immediately slam main and roll out. Okay, very nice. I like that play here. You're looking for another slam in. And one thing that I want to say is to provide the maximum amount of value, you can just roll through the enemy team. And so, or if you're not ready to slam into the enemy team, you can just roll through the enemy team. Nice pick on the Hanzo there. Let me go back into chokehold where this very important moment happens. So here are going to point 7 times it. I like that engage. I like the fact that you didn't have to use your do not stop here, whatever you do, because you're basically just disabling yourself in front of the enemy team because you lose all your momentum. You go into wheelchair mode and then you let them shoot you, and it forces your shields out. You should be using your shields to go in pile drive. So why I said earlier that I like this engage was because you didn't have to use your shields and you got out very clean. And so that was a very nice engage, because if you took like half of your health and damage, your downtime, even though it's like, oh, it's just half my health, your downtime to be able to engage again is going to be very, very bad, and be a very negative thing to your gameplay here. But okay, so you roll through again, and then the reason why you have to use your shields, instead of just rolling through and getting out and then getting another health pack, or letting your healers heal you, and then going back in, is because you use your shields and you take a lot of damage here. And it sounds like a small difference, but it's a difference between them pushing through main for free here, and you, because that drastically negatively impacts your team, and your job as a tank is to take space. And so you can take space by killing people or providing the value and like kill pressure and essentially living and taking space based off of living, because like right now you're living with kill pressure in main, so you're holding the space, but they're already through on point, and so it's not ideal. That would have been great if they were still in choke, but you know, I'm not going to harp on you on that because it's not that bad. But this is why Ball is not that great on this map. Oh, your Sombra has this mega health hacked. That is very nice for you, because you should be getting that mega if it's available. The kill on Hanzo is great. Let me see if you can get a pile drive here. Very nice. I feel like most of the time you should be using your E to prevent damage here. So every time you pile drive, you're probably going to be shooting after, or you're pile driving into multiple people and they're going to be shooting you when you hit the ground. So you need to use your E to prevent that damage. So then you're ready to go back in again when you're done pile driving. So okay, this fight's pretty good. Not too much to go over. It's all micro. You're just cleaning up the team fight. One thing to say though is you need to get your pile drives in. It's very important to know a lot of techs on Ball. Either the wall jump pile drive or pile driving off cart, which is the easier option here. So yeah, just get onto the cart, pile drive. Okay, you're having a real hard time getting a pile drive out here. That's a lot of downtime. A lot of downtime that you're not doing anything. You're basically AFK if you're not having lethality on the enemy team. You can, yeah, very nice. You can jump on that and get a pile drive. See how much value you got out there? But the thing is, you got to use your shields a bit sooner. You're not very precise about your engages. So you're taking a lot of damage and it's preventing you from going back in the long run. Very nice. I like how you're able to use your guns. I see the attempt for the tech there. Or able to use your tactical reload. Or op swap reload. I don't know what that's called, but very good to see that you're very nimble about it. Okay. What I noticed is that you're not getting a lot of pile drives off. The easiest way to kill someone is you pile drive and it sends them into the air, and then you can just track them in the air because they're just going up and down. It's the easiest thing ever. Yeah, so a common misconception I want to talk about on ball is just because you're in the fight doesn't mean that you're providing the most value. You know, just because it's like a... You can just be a living ward in the fight instead of providing the maximum amount of value that you can. And that's going to come with getting more ball techs down and then knowing to use the ball techs. Because, you know, you can be in the practice range and hit all the ball techs, but then you can be here and then just, like, never be pile driving. Every single time that you have pile drive and we're in these, like, little skirmishes where it's like we're not setting up, we're not cleaning up. You know, we're not in the pre-fight, we're not in the cleanup stage of the team fight, and we're just staggering them here, or trying to win the team fight, just trying to, like, literally just kill them. Then you should be doing lots and lots and lots of pile drive techs on isolated enemies, or even just on enemies in general, because it'll get them killed. Let's see. I like your engaged decision making here. I don't like how you're taking damage after you pile drive here. Either use your shields or don't stay there and shoot. Because now, watch, it's going to bite you in the back when... See, you still have shields. It still hasn't caught up to you. Okay. You win this point or no? No, your Mercy's able to heal you. But it's not a very good habit to have. Okay, perfect. Here's a good example where if you use your shields sooner, you would have been able to mitigate more damage and then get out when your shields were low instead of yourself being low. And then you would have maybe been able to get the mega over here because you have more downtime, or been able to reposition and get the mega out here, or let your Mercy heal you and then go back into the fight. Your Mercy is dead, but needless to say, it's about the habits to improve. How long is this replay? 16 minutes? Okay. From a ball player, I like to see more concise engagements rather than like staggering in like this, because what happens when the fight lasts longer rather than having very concise engagements is the enemies start shooting you more, and even though your healers are able to get the ult charge out of it, you're charging the enemy's ults a lot. So if you're able to isolate your engagements and get the most value out of the least amount of time, that's the best way to play ball. Okay, so let me look at this last team fight. Where were you taking a lot of damage? Yeah, also, you won't be able to properly go back into the fight. So, this is an awkward example because there's never a good time to disengage in that team fight, really. Good mines usage here. I do say though, your target prioritization, if you can peel for your backline, peeling is very underrated, and I feel like people only, or in the lower ranks, you'll see tank players only peeling when they're on Diva, but sometimes the most amount of value you can provide is preventing the enemies from getting value. Wondering if you use your... We've got to get the movement down to not take that damage, because now you have a lot of downtime versus if you were going in. But I think a lot of this is going to be your positioning and your playstyle to prevent downtime. Did you have your shields here? Yes, you did. So you should use your shields way earlier instead of taking damage and then using your shields. Because it's giving you so much downtime. And the reason why I'm talking about downtime is literally like more important than anything, because it's the equivalent of being AFK. Like, I would rather see you at 1 health with uptime, which is not possible because the reason why you have downtime here is because of your health. But I'd rather see you, you know, not having all this downtime. Okay, so talking about concise engagements, you should never be near the Reaper for more than like 2 seconds unless you're killing something and something is dying, whether that be the Reaper or not. But like walking through this Reaper here, and especially he forces your shields, is such a strong amount of value for your team. So if you can path around that Reaper and not have to deal with that, that would actually save you in this scenario. Needless to say, it's just a habit to have, where it's like, don't get your health shredded by something random if you can just path around it, or path smart and fast through it. Like if you roll through that Reaper there and with Fireball and then pile drive the enemies, that's much better than not rolling through or taking a lot of damage from that Reaper. Oh, very nice move. I think that was luck, but still. And then I feel like this should be obvious, but I think that you just panicked and you started shooting him, but just walk away from him. Remember, it's about concise engagements, not about time in. I feel like you're very much like, time in, if I just shoot this Reaper right now, or maybe you thought that you could have killed him, which is not the case, but it's about getting value with your cooldowns. What is going on? Okay. Let's see how you played the attack. The attack is argumentatively way harder. Defense. Because all the enemies are going to be focusing you. Oh god, they have a Bastion too. And a Zenyatta. Well. But you guys also have a Zenyatta. Interesting. The thing is, no one is here to mark you, so you can get easy pile drives onto the Zenyatta. Very nice. But then again, the shields, remember. The best time to use your shields is right here. Because as soon as you pile drive, or right before you pile drive, you're optimally going to be surrounded by a lot of people and will get the most amount of shields. So it'll prevent you from taking the most damage because you have more shields. But as soon as you pile drive, people will be rounding corners and breaking line of sight. So, as we saw there, and you only got like 1 or 2 people's shields. And it didn't really come back to punish you, but, you know, I would much rather see you build good habits. I don't know what that was. I was very intrigued by that rotation. But one thing also, when this card is pushing in through here, I would love to see you taking space in the castle, because common mistake from tank players are they don't rotate to the castle early when they get a team wipe, which should be the best option, because when your teammate is down here in this low ground, you can see how hard of a team fight it is for your team to push through. But if you start taking space over here and creating havoc, they won't have this high ground to be able to deal with you, and they're not on the high ground, which is not a good example. But it's a good habit, because if there's one DPS player up here, like an Ashe, and a healer up here to help the Ashe hold her position, it's a whole world of hurt for your teammates. And so taking that to begin with and making them fight for that high ground instead of having it for free is a really, instead of like, because you're essentially like wasting your time pushing the cart. Also, let's talk about threats. When there's a Reaper, when there's a Sombra, when there's a Bastion in front of you like this. Okay, never mind. This is okay, because I also thought you would have killed him. But needless to say, you know, when there are those people who will drain your health pool, it's going to create a lot of downtime, even if you survive. Yeah, so it's very important to LOS them. Realize that Eva's name is Big Zen, and both players have Zens on their team. Ooh, okay. This engage is, I kind of like it, not gonna lie. Even though you're low health, you're keeping them in the chokehold. Even though I'd much rather see you just coming back and resetting, because you know your life is worth more than anything. because that's the most downtime that you could have if you die. So here, random thing but very important. When your team dies, you're in the cleanup phase now. Your mercy just popped off. No, okay. I started flying in the air and I was like, no way. But the team fight is already decided. You guys are fighting a 3v4 right now and they have spawn advantage, so it's basically a 3v4.5. And so you wasting time here is creating a lot of downtime. So instead of just running away and waiting for your team to regroup, so it's a good skill to, okay, your Lucio's creative. It reminds me of myself, but it's a good skill to be able to recognize in the team fight when the team fight is pretty much definitively lost for your team or won for the enemy team, and then from there you can decide, should I regroup or should I run in and try to kill more here. Watching this engage. Okay, this is a miss of the ball attack. So that one's obvious. Just hit the ball attack and practice it more. Yeah, get some of the movement down because essentially your uptime will, the amount of effective uptime will be dictated by how well you're able to do your techs. And so like right here is a good example of like, you have 400 health. If you were better at techs, you would be able to swing around or fireball through over this and then use your shields and pile drive. But otherwise, now you have so much downtime. You're not able to shoot, you're not able to roll through, you're not able to go contest that cast right now. And, oh, okay. I would love to see you mining multiple people on cart rather than in a corridor, because in a corridor is easier to fight. Okay, so now's a good example of it's in cleanup phase, so you should just either, killing the turret is fine. There's no risk of you really dying here. You're providing a bit of value. Or if you can look to get like a good 1v1 out to get kill pressure or even kill a target, like this. Perfect. No, you missed the tech. If you killed the Torbjorn here, that was really big because you guys are in the pre-fight right now, setting up in the setup phase, ready to go into mid-fight. And if you start the mid-fight with one person, that's a lot of value. Oh, you guys are on break now. Hallelujah. One thing here, very common tech that you can abuse, the double loop. It's a harder tech, but if you can get that down, that'd be nice because it's a free kill. Nice isolated 1v1. I do want to say though that they're grouping a lot and you can be providing a lot of value by diving the Torbjorn or the Ana and using your shields. You know, you do the grapple, pile driving shields at the same time onto the Ana, and it's going to force all of them to turn around. So what we'll see is their D.Va is probably getting off the high ground to go contest, and all of these people are going to help the Ana. And so what that does for your team is it allows them to push all the way up into here with no pressure, get the high ground, or start pushing the cart. And so even though if you don't get a kill, more about the space that you're creating and enabling your team to succeed. Because it's like, at the end of the day, are you going to be killing 5 every team fight? No? Then why not? It's because you're enabling your team by creating space as a tank player. And that's an important part in creating space as a tank player to provide value for your team to win the team fight. It's a team game, and enabling your team is a very good option here on ball. Especially since you can't like get huge pile drives to win the game. Nice. Good kill on that Torbjorn. Again, I think here, also, when we're talking about trading cooldowns and utility, ooh, nice tech. That was clean. Trading cooldowns and utility, hold on. Getting a Tracer to 1 health versus getting an Ana to 1 health is very different, because getting the Ana to 1 health is very easy. So if you're focusing this Mora, the analogy of like, because the Mora is going to be very hard to get to 1 health, and focusing the Mora is just going to lead to a lot of inefficient use of time. Ooh, very close again. But I want you to pile drive the cart way more. Also, there are a lot of moments in this game where you have pile drive and you're not pile driving the cart. Like, right here. perfect time. If you jump on the top of the cart and pile drive, you might be able to kill the enemies here. But needless to say, focusing the right targets and trading your cooldowns in a timely manner versus their cooldowns, you'll be able to pull more from them than you are to use from yourself because your cooldowns are pretty fast. So let's go over some tidbits of advice that I can help you out with. So number one is the downtime on ball. I need to see you preventing taking damage from your E rather than reactively using your E. And the way that you do that, your shields, the way that you do that is you take engagements where you know you're going to take damage. And so you grapple, use your shields, and then you use your pile drive into a large group of people. If you can do that into solo Ana and, you know, in second point because they're not grouped up really and they're not in a good place, that it'll pull all of their attention and it'll be really good. Also consider just grappling through and taking minimal damage, but you still provide a lot of value. And then shooting after. Pew pew. Gun. Gun shoot. Grappling through, and then once you get a safe distance away where they're not going to take damage, where you're not going to take as much damage and you shoot. Especially against like a Reaper, if you grapple through and get to mid-range where his pellets really fall off and then shoot him, you're doing really well. 2, I need you to practice your pile drive techs. Specifically your pile drive, because there's a lot of moments where you don't get it. So get the wall pile drive. Wall pile drive, when you go up to the wall. Before you hit the wall, when you're at maximum just regular rolling speed, you tap S, hit jump, and the wall will send you up. And you'll get it. If you need help, just YouTube wall pile drive and you'll see what I'm saying. Also, get on the cart, and you can do it on the cart as well. But get on the cart, just jump up once or twice even. You can jump up once and roll to the top of the icon wall cart. And then you can pile drive enemies, and that'll increase your lethality by a lot. And 3, talk about, I think, properly addressing threats, I think. So tempo. Because there are a lot of moments in which you just take a lot of damage and increases your downtime, in which you should just be like rolling through or avoiding a certain target like Reaper or Bastion, where it's like, I want to be at full health so then I can go and use my shields, get out, and then as soon as my shields go back up, that's when I'm able to do it again. Or I can do it like, for example, you can do this combo, and then you'll be at like half health, you get a health pack, then you roll through again, and then immediately after you're done rolling through, you'll have this combo back up, and you just keep on trading them. But what we're doing right now is like kind of like rolling through or doing this scuff combo, and then you have to go get a health pack, and then not doing one of these combos again, and then you're just sitting getting a health pack, and then you go in and not do one of the combos again, and then you get a health pack, and then then we're like missing out on one of these like main combos. And you know, you can get creative and mix and match, but needless to say, you're creating a lot of downtime by not or on the side, especially like if you get marked by an enemy DPS player. That's what, if you ever hear marking ball, like tracers are really good at it because you can't run away from a tracer as well as you can from like a Reaper. But if the tracer is marking you, then it's going to force you to go get heals or go get health packs, and then prevent you from doing these and disrupting the enemy team on ball to create space. So that's very important as a ball player. So hopefully I've helped you, and hopefully these 3 things will help you. I definitely guarantee you the pile drive one is going to be a lot of increase in lethality and help you. The downtime is the main issue preventing you from ranking up, I feel. Other than that, hopefully, good luck in